Okay, we are going to talk about the muscles of the face and the neck. So this region right here is the epicranius, and within the epicranius you have the frontal belly of the Occipitofrontalis, and this is responsible for raising eyebrows and wrinkling your forehead. Right here you have your temporalis muscle. If we turn him to face us, you can see the Orbicularis oculi, which is responsible for closing the eye. And then right here you have your Zygomaticus minor and your Zygomaticus major. These muscles are responsible for moving the corners of your mouth. So think about smiling, you would use these muscles. Right here you have your Buccinators. And here is your masseter. These muscles are responsible for moving the lower jaw. Right here, masseter, buccinator. This muscle right here is the risorius. Also, you can see this large muscle right here. This is your sternocleidomastoid. It's responsible for moving the head and the neck. Right here you have your omohyoid, and here is your sternohyoid. And if we turn our muscle man so you can see the muscles posteriorly, again in the epicranial section you have the occipital belly of the Occipitofrontalis. And right here, right behind the ear, you have the Splenius Capitis. So right here you can see the Splenius Capitis muscle. Right below it you have your Levator Scapulae. And then this large muscle right here, this is the trapezius.
Okay, now we're going to look at muscles of the chest, abdomen, and back. First, we're going to look at muscles that move the scapula. Here is the Pectoralis Major. It helps to flex and rotate the arm medially. And this is the Pectoralis Minor. Right down here we have the Serratus Anterior, which helps to protect the scapula. On the back, we have the trapezius muscle. It helps to raise, retract, and rotate the scapula. Right here we have the rhomboid minor and the rhomboid major. They also help to retract the scapula. Now we'll look at muscles used for breathing. Right here are the external intercostals and the internal intercostals. And here are some muscles of the abdominal wall. Here's the rectus abdominis. It flexes the vertebral column. Here's the external oblique and the internal oblique. They both help compress the abdomen with the lateral rotation. And on the inside, we have the Transversus Abdominis, which compresses the abdomen. Now we're going to look at muscles that move the arm. Here's the Latissimus Dorsi. It helps with arm extension and adduction. Here's the Teres Major, which extends, adducts, and rotates the arm medially. And this is the Teres Minor, which rotates the humerus laterally. Here we have the supraspinatus, which starts abduction and inhibits downward movement. And here we have the infraspinatus, which rotates the humerus laterally. Other muscles of the back include the Erector Spinae, which is used for extending the back, and the Serratus posterior inferior.
We are going to talk about the muscles of the upper arm. Right here we've got the deltoid, which is the muscle forming the rounded contour of the shoulder. Below we've got Biceps Brachii, a two-headed muscle located on the upper arm. On the back we've got Triceps Brachii. It's a three-headed muscle. In the lower portion we've got Pronator Teres, which pronates the forearm. Right here we've got Brachioradialis, which flexes the arm at the elbow. Here we've got Flexor carpi radialis, a muscle that flexes and abducts the hand. Here we've got Palmaris Longus, which is a small tendon between Flexor carpi radialis and Flexor carpi ulnaris. And also on the back we have Extensor digitorum, which extends the medial four digits of the hand. And right here we've got Extensor carpi ulnaris, which extends and adducts at the wrist.
Now we are going to talk about the muscles of the glutes and legs. The muscle right here is Gluteus Maximus, and the one right here is the Gluteus Medius, and this is these two are superficial, and the one right here is the Gluteus Minimus. Okay. This muscle is called as gracilis and Adductor Magnus, and the muscle deep to the semitendinosus is the semimembranosus. The one right here is the biceps femoris. So the biceps femoris is a two-headed muscle which laterally rotates the leg. So this is the long head, and the one here is the short head. So now let's move down further. This whole muscle is called as gastrocnemius, and this is the lateral head of the gastrocnemius, and this is the medial head of the gastrocnemius. And the muscle on the side is called as soleus. And down here, which strengthens these three muscles, is the calcaneal tendon. Now we are going to study the anterior muscles of the hips and the thigh. Here on the side is the gracilis, and the muscle next to gracilis is the adductor longus. And the one that's up here above the hip is the iliopsoas, and the one connecting the hip to the side of the knee is the sartorius. And the straight muscle here is called as the rectus femoris. So the muscle right here is called as vastus medialis. And the muscle here is called as vastus lateralis. All these muscles together are called as quadriceps, which helps bend the knee. When you move down here, the muscle in the front is called as Tibialis Anterior. And on the lateral side is the extensor digitorum longus. And here on the upper side is the Fibularis Longus, which is supported by the Fibularis brevis. So all these muscles together help in the dorsiflexion of the foot.